Today we're going to look at writing an extended peel paragraph. Hopefully you've mastered writing a peel paragraph. Now we're going to review that peel and then show you how you can turn a peel into an extended peel paragraph. But first, let's go ahead and review the different parts of a peel. The P stands for point. That's our topic sentence, or where we state our main point or our argument. We make sure that we answer the question of the point or the argument. So that first sentence is our topic sentence. It's a point, or we answer the question in that point. Next comes the really important part of the paragraph, our evidence. We provide evidence or examples to support the point or our argument. We use quotations with a direct quote. So we put quotation marks around something we take from a text or from an expert or someone. And then we also give the text location. For example, we would say in paragraph 7, it says, or on page number 38, it says, and then we'd use the quotation marks. After our evidence comes our explanation. This is where we explain it in our own words, and we're explaining the evidence. So it says explain or elaborate how your evidence examples support your point or your argument. Then the last thing is where we link it together. If we're writing a longer essay, it might link into the next point, but most of the time we're just restating our point sentence in new words and concluding our paragraph. So let's kind of continue review. We begin with a point, has words from the question, then we share our evidence. We say things like, for example, this is shown in paragraph blank. This is an example, or an example of this is blank. This is true because on page blank it says. Then for our explanation, we explain that evidence. This quote suggests that. This quote supports the point because. This is true because. This shows. That's how we do an explanation, or how we begin an explanation. Our link sentence, in conclusion, it's clear that, or finally, ways we end a paragraph with a link sentence. So let's take a look at our first story we read this year was called 11, and you probably wrote a peel paragraph earlier this year answering a question for 11. The question says, how does Rachel feel when that red sweater is placed in her desk? If you remember that story, the teacher finds a red sweater and believes it's Rachel's and sets it on her desk. I went back and read that story again before I wrote my example. And here is my point sentence. It's in blue. Rachel feels embarrassed when the red sweater is placed on her desk. I answer the question. Next comes my evidence. In paragraph 12, Rachel says, and I have direct quote, I don't know why, but all of a sudden I'm feeling sick inside. That's my evidence right from the story. After she gets the sweater on her desk, she's feeling sick inside. My explanation says this shows that she's so embarrassed that she's feeling sick. Highlighted in green, it's my explanation. My last sentence, I'm restating that point. I'm kind of just ending my paragraph, wrapping it up. This proves that Rachel is embarrassed when the sweater is placed on her desk. That is a simple peel paragraph, P-E-E-L. How do we turn that into an extended? It's not complicated, folks. You can see down at the bottom, we have point, evidence, explanation. It's the same process, but then instead of giving a link, we go and give a second piece of evidence and we explain that evidence. So let me read my example here. The highlighting's down at the bottom. You can see we have blue, red, green, and then orange. So Rachel feels embarrassed when the red sweater is placed on her desk. In paragraph 12, Rachel says, I don't know why, but all of a sudden I'm feeling sick inside. This shows that she's so embarrassed that she's feeling sick inside. That's my peel paragraph. And if I just doing a peel, I'd go ahead and put a link on the end. But I'm doing extended, so I'm going to extend it with another piece of evidence. Then in paragraph 13, she says, I move my pencil and books and eraser as far from it as possible. I even move my chair a little to the right. Here's the explanation. The it in this sentence is referring to the red sweater. Her wanting to get away from it shows her embarrassment because she's trying as hard as possible to get away from the sweater. This proves that Rachel is embarrassed when the red sweater is placed on her desk. So now you can see it's extended. I have 2 pieces of evidence. I explain each. It looks longer than that first example. That's why it's called an extended peel. Let's take one more look at it, and let's use kind of an argument. So the prompt would be, should Michigan continue to have a bottle deposit law? In Michigan, you pay 10 extra cents when you buy a pop can or a 2-liter of pop. It costs 10 cents extra, but then you get 10 cents back when you return it. So here is a appeal paragraph answering that question. Michigan should no longer have a bottle return law. That's the point. Answers the question. I believe they should no longer have a bottle return law. What's my evidence? Well, only 10 states have bottle return laws. That's evidence, and it's a fact. My explanation is this shows that most states do not have a bottle deposit law, so Michigan doesn't need to have one either. As you can see, my link, I go back to that point. As you can see, having a bottle return deposit in Michigan should not continue. How do I turn that into an extended peel? Pretty simple. I just give a second piece of evidence and explain it. So you can see it's extended, it's longer, it follows that same format, but instead of after my first piece of my first evidence and explanation, I don't add a link, I go ahead and give a second piece of evidence and explanation. So answering the same question, Michigan should no longer have a bottle return law. Only 10 states have a bottle return law. This shows that most states do not have bottle deposit laws, so Michigan does not have to have one. Bridge Magazine, or Bridge Michigan, found that during the COVID-19 crisis, residents in Michigan lost over $108 million in bottle returns. This shows that if there's a crisis, people might not be able to get their money back from the deposit. As you can see, having a bottle return deposit in Michigan should not continue. So that's how you take a regular peel and just extend it into an extended peel paragraph. Good luck writing your own extended peels. I know you can do it. You can go back to this video to look at how you take a peel and just extend it into an extended peel.